There we go. Test, test. Testing. 1, 2. Alright, looks like you can hear me. Alright. We are good to go. So, welcome back. We're at Act 3, Part 1. We just got done watching, finishing Act 2 and watching Episode 2. Jack Joyce is now on the island at the night of the gala. Paul Serene, our villain, has decided to try to personally talk to Jack to get him to understand what he's doing. And it looks like the conspirators of Martin Hatch and whatever he's planning is going to start finally coming together. But basically, we found another time machine. Jack Joyce is trying to get to the research lab to figure out how to fix the time machine so he can use it and go back in the past and try and prevent all this from happening. But it also looks like the research might have the countermeasure because it was in the labs in the episode. But we'll have to see. So here we go with some more Quantum Break. While it loads. I should have said all this while it was loading. Excuse me. The wine and cheese crowd.
Security was tight at the Monarch Gala. You took quite a risk walking into the Lion's Den.
If we were gonna kidnap Dr. Amaral, then we needed to do it from the inside.
Beth Wilder. You were quick to trust her.
We had common interests.
Is that all you had?
That's all we needed. Well, I'm starting to think seeing a pretty lady like you is too much to hope for.
Why don't you keep your mouth shut while we get some privacy before we begin? Okay.
How about you get me out of this chair?
Stop squirming.
Why don't you look at what you're doing, Beth? Trying to take off his handcuffs blindly.
You're gonna need this.
Here, have a gun. Kill people. You have the power to stop time and whatnot, but hey, still use a gun.
Sure.
Oh, this texture's look terrible.
What's it look like
there
out
it goes.
there?
I think you're secure.
Man, they have a blurry sign.
Everyone's concentrating on the party. So far, your crazy plan's working.
And Dr. Amaral?
There we
I
go.
don't have a fix on her. She's either at the party or at her office at the R&D facility here on the island. I'll scout out the party.
So you're gonna sip champagne while I break into a high-security installation. Looks like you got this all figured out.
She
I'll
does.
save you a cocktail, Weenie.
Oh, well, in that case...
Can you open the door for me?
My cover isn't gonna survive the night, but it'll last a little longer, so you can't walk out the front door with me. This is the quickest way to the R&D facility. I just
If you're
say
trying
that
to
with
keep something
security at
out,
the back door, but there'll be
or
guards.
keep something in.
Contact me when you're clear.
Pretty big damn
And
door.
Jack, you know what's at stake here. This can't be about revenge.
Always about
I'm
revenge.
not here for Paul.
I'm here for the Time Knife script.
Good luck.
Let's do this.
No. Can I go back out? Ah. I don't want to do this.
Hey! He's escaping!
Time rush. Training time for special to perform a melee takedown. Oh, they set off the alarm.
Damn. That will hurt in the morning.
My powers were growing. I was learning to control them better. That felt good.
Oh, it's a leaf. Like, is there a bug crawling down the wall? Okay.
Who the hell designs these doors? Okay, I'm gonna have to move faster.
Interesting. So you tap it for a quick. Whew. You hold it to freeze time and move. Hey, somebody knows what's going on because they're putting up all this graffiti.
Very sci-fi and very Monarch. Something tells me it wasn't commissioned by them, though.
Toto. Signed by Toto. Okay. Can I see the fireworks? I heard them. There they are. Pretty. Usually that means the gala's about to end.
Clear. What's next?
You'll see a radar tower up ahead soon. Let me know when you get inside.
All right.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, that didn't work. God damn it.
Oh, you could have warned me about that one, Vet. Okay, how am I getting to that radar tower?
Take for semi-automatic machine gun. Thank you. Pretty cat meow. Okay, 1 of 8. How many do I have? I have 3, but I need 4 to do anything. There's another one on my radar. Hear it. Just wanted to heard a cat meowing. Is that a bird?
Up you go. Let's try this again.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da, and then we go across
All right,
it.
that's that.
It was all supposed to be quietly swept under the carpet, but now we've got a shitload more bodies to disappear.
Well, at least we got it under control now.
Stay sharp! Stay sharp!
Okay,
Time felt broken here.
that's it. This time felt broken. Okay. Alright, Gull Island sign. Riverport Coastal Defense. The coastal defense installation of Riverport was commissioned on August 2nd, 1940, and completed in September 1942 as America faced the realities of World War II.
Felt unstuck in time.
In addition to the fortifications and artillery, it also boasted an extensive tunnel system that linked Gull Island to the mainland, enabling free movement for personnel and material even under siege conditions. It was built in preparation for an attack on the United States that fortunately never came. The original plan also called for the construction of large naval bases in Riverport to support the U.S. Navy in the Atlantic, taking advantage of the local shipbuilding industry. But as the United States entered World War II after Pearl Harbor, a change in resourcing priorities led to those plans being scrapped. The installation was in active use throughout the war, and the underground facility continued to be used as a base for Navy intelligence work once World War II ended. The installation was decommissioned in 1961. That's where I need to go. Something there. There's also something. That's that one.
The timeline of the old cannon felt loose. I could shift it around.
It's locked. Smart place to aim the cannon, guys.
I've been thinking. Monarch projections say these stutters are getting more frequent. If one hits while we're grabbing Dr. Amaral...
You'll be frozen. Yeah, I know. It's a risk.
Monarch specialist troopers have the stutter-proof gear. I bet Dr. Amaral would have that in her office, too.
I'll keep an eye out. See if I can grab it for you.
Right now I got 4. Keys enemies remain revealed for longer. Focus time will last even longer. Time slows down further around Jack while the time shield is active. Increase power. This one I think it's Germany 6. Time rush. 2. Time focus. Okay. One thing I use a lot of is not time vision. Time stop. I'll buy that one.
Direct fire!
Oh, shit.
Enemy spotted! Targeting crosshairs. Swapping mags!
Not good enough to kill that guy.
Back dry! Suppressing fire!
But I can do this to him. Pow!
Engaging target, over.
Copy. Neutralize the target at once. Over.
Gotcha. Take that.
Jack? I've disabled security and unlocked the gates leading to the tower. Let me know when you get there.
Thanks, Beth.
Okay. Oh shit.
Great, another one. Need to get to the radar tower.
Alright.
Okay.
Full ammo.
Next stop, the radar tower.
That's just a backpack.
Beth? I'm at the radar tower. Where's the lab?
Below your feet. It's all top secret. The elevator inside will take you down.
Oh, seriously? What is this, a Bond villain lair?
You have no idea. Just don't fall into the shark tank.
Fuck.
Alright, another one.
Good evening, folks. This is your pal, Bobby Radford, and you better believe I'm still hopping mad about what went down at the university last night. I got nothing new on that. I'm getting stonewalled. So let me take another approach. You know how Monarch took over the old dry docks, what, 5, 6 years back? Just bought it all up and set up some kind of an industrial operation there or something? Well, it turns out they had a freak
A long fucking fireworks show, man.
One of those unfinished ships came crashing down. You probably heard all about it. It was pretty spectacular. You'd think there'd be some kind of explanation for what had to be a multi-million-dollar disaster. But guess which multinational corporation has no comment on that little event either? Now, I don't know about you folks, but it seems to me all of a sudden there's a lot of weird stuff going down and Monarch's name just keeps coming up. So what's Monarch doing about it? It's business as usual for them. In fact, they're throwing a party at their fancy mansion on Gull Island. From what I hear, it's going to be a hell of a bash. But of course, it's all limits to anybody who isn't a part of their clique. Now, it seems to me these guys bought out Riverport, and now they're getting drunk while the city burns.
Yep.
But I'm sure they've got our best interest in mind.
There we are. That's 2.
Good evening. You weren't expecting somebody this handsome, I know. Unfortunately, Mr. Serene is preoccupied with as many duties necessary
Speech
to
is
ensure we
streaming.
maintain control over
Let's
our
give
path.
Monarch the audience they deserve.
And that's what tonight is about. The future. We all knew this day was
Oh, they
coming
actually
because men
they
had
filmed
fought
him
there
doing
on
that
shore
speech.
machines. We're entering a new phase in our operation. One that presents new risks and new demands.
So they're shooting this in the internet.
One that requires this. The Chronon Field Regulator, or CFR. Now, many of you know that
Countermeasure.
this device has been the source of our Chronon research since 2010. But what only a select few of you know is that this device is
So
at the
Mark
center of
stole it.
Monarch's plans to navigate through the dangers.
So I'd say Paul Serene went back in time and he
this
stole it.
device. Everybody get down!
That's not good. So someone took a shot.
Oh, Jesus. What the hell's that about? Hey, Beth. I'm headed down into the labs.
Okay. Bit of confusion here at the party. Serene's right-hand man's on stage. It was supposed to be Serene.
Yeah. I think Paul was too busy trying to have a heart-to-heart with me to make it.
It's not a thing to be confused about, considering she's like, oh, there's confusion, but not mention the fact that a gunshot went off.
Jack, local security network. Split up.
No shit! We found Joyce!
God damn it. Okay, let me out. Alright. Yeah, don't stand up in front of the bullet.
Dr. Amaril's office. Looks like that's one level up.
I can't do anything. I think there are guns at least. Oh.
That doesn't look right.
Time shield. Time shield. Get. That's an unstoppable object. Which way was this going? Supposed to be going that way.
What the hell is this? What is that? It's like I'm being drained.
Turn that off.
The hell do they do things like that?
The device drained my powers.
We refer to it as a chronon dampener.
Alright, what's this? Okay. Again, we gotta see this one email or multiple emails. Looks like it's probably just one, alright. Go back to the top. All strange lifeboat protocol to lifeboat maintenance. Alright, greetings, lifeboat personnel. The day has finally come to commence phase 3 of our plan. Tonight I will be hosting a gala to celebrate this monumental achievement to which you are all invited. By now you have likely heard the events that took place earlier today at Riverport University. Our path forward has not been impacted by this minor setback. We are ready for what comes next. Your part of the journey has not yet begun, but the onset of the fracture will bring with it new challenges that are worth reiterating. I am not able to go over many of these issues in detail at tonight's gala because many guests will not have knowledge of the lifeboat protocol. As such, I'm including a high-level document outlining the key points worth addressing. 1. The path forward, our journey ahead. 2. The lifeboat protocol, status of the survival program. 3. Shifters, dangers awaiting us at the end of time. R&D tour, our future at work. 1. The path forward. When you were first chosen for the lifeboat protocol, you were sent a package illustrating in great detail several events that would come to pass. It was stressed that these events were unavoidable. Many of you were elected to believe this, but every single one of those events has since occurred, including to our great regret, the onset of the fracture. This provides empirical evidence of my knowledge and understanding of the future, and I trust it has dispelled your doubts. No future event that I have experienced can ever be prevented. This includes the end of time. It cannot be avoided. Because he went back in time and tried to change everything, and in doing so just helped put everything in motion, he believes because you've seen it, you can't change it. So he doesn't believe you can change your future. Once you see it, you are predestined to follow it. However, it can be survived. Survival in the end of time has been the primary mission of the Monarch Solution since its inception. Your loyalty in this cause will provide valuable as we move forward. I know this isn't easy, but in the face of immutable facts, sacrifices must be made in the name of our survival. From this point forward, we will have to start making those sacrifices at a rapid pace. While we do know the exact date and time at which the complete end of time will occur, our knowledge about the escalation in shutters and time anomalies leading to it is far less complete. We do, however, know that it will be dangerous. For the first time in 17 years, we are entering a phase of the relative unknown. Adjustments will need to be made along the way, both in response to the effects of the fracture's progress and to the less cosmic events that we'll find ourselves in. We ask for your patience in this trying time. 2. Lifeboat Protocol. You are the chosen few who will survive the end of time. When the time stops, our journey will continue into the safety of the lifeboat. The chronon particle harvesting operation is nearing completion. The lifeboat has been confirmed to be able to chronon power as regulated by the chronon field regulator, the countermeasure. Current data indicates that the lifeboat will remain sustainable for approximately 50 years. Subjective years, of course, as no time at all will pass outside the lifeboat. Given the preliminary research we have achieved using the CFR, we estimate that it will take at least 2 subjective decades for the lifeboat team to discover a permanent solution to the end of time. Given the nature of the problem, this is, of course, highly speculative, and the solution could prove to be more elusive than we are hoping. However, by the time the lifeboat protocol is activated, we are confident that we will be able to increase our chronon particle reserves and their sustainability to a point where we can run time upwards of 200 subjective years. Or to put it another way, if there is a solution at a time, I am 100% confident that the lifeboat team will have the necessary time to discover it. 3. Shifters. We briefed you all on the dangers of chronon disruption wave functions subjects, or what are now being referred to as shifters. We estimate that they will begin to emerge within shutters only as the end of time nears. The lifeboat has been tested, and we can say with absolute certainty that the shutterproof technology will protect the lifeboat from shifters. Using a living sample in Dr. Kim's lab, we have proven that the shifters cannot manifest without the presence of a shutter. We will make sure that you are transported to the safety of the lifeboat before they arrive. Floor 3 of the lifeboat has been built to house the Monarch Solutions Striker and Juggernaut squads, a paramilitary unit trained to combat shifters at the end of time. Their presence will likely not concern you, however. However, in the event that travel outside the safety of the lifeboat proves to be necessary for any reason, the Striker teams have been trained to navigate the end of time successfully, eliminate shifters. R&D tour. Tonight we will be sending you VIP passes for the gala, which will permit entry into the high-security R&D facility on Gull Island. Many of you are, of course, already immediately familiar with these areas, given your technology and scientific expertise, but those who aren't will undoubtedly find it interesting. You are welcome to join the tour to view the various pieces of tech that Monarch has employed during Phase 2 to prepare for our journey forward. We welcome you to take this opportunity to see for yourself that every development necessary for the Lifeboat Protocol is completely on schedule. Your dedication to our cause will assure our survival. Dark times are coming, but you are the light at the end of the tunnel. You are humanity's salvation and hope. Together we will survive. Paul Serene. So Paul, everybody's working for the same goal, right? William wanted to stop the fracture from happening. He spent 10 years of his life building a countermeasure to try and prevent it. Paul Serene went back in time, stole the countermeasure to learn more about it so that he can devise a way to survive the end of time, because he doesn't believe he can change the future because of what he's seen. William thought he was going to save the world, but lost hope after he didn't hear back from Beth. Still don't know who Martin is, and apparently there's creatures coming out. This is very interesting, but the problem with this with storytelling is this is a long fucking piece of literature to read, right? As has been most of the email threads that we've been reading. There's given lots of insight of what's going on, but somebody who's a gamer who's playing through this will like, yeah, blah blah blah, this is long, okay, yeah, I'm leaving. They'll get the idea what's going on, but there's a bunch of shit that happens later in the game that I'm like, where the fuck did these things come from? And they're apparently the shifters. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, there's something right here I should read. Alright. Chron distribution wave function subject, aka shifters, key attributes. Threats exist in a state of quantum superposition, surrounded by highly dangerous distortion fields, highly resistant to injury, conventional weapons useless. Populate the end of time, can only exist in zero state inside shutters. Appearance likely once fracture progresses. As a result, shooters cannot enter stutter-proof areas. To keep your distance, if not aggressive, do not provoke. Avoid confrontation. Seek cover inside shutterproofing. Maintain proofing at all costs. If forced to engage, assemble superior numbers with chronon attack weapons. No heroics. Interesting. What's in this lab?
Are you sure this can't be traced back to us?
Impossible. I've adjusted the flight controls so the drone will crash into the villa on your order.
Good. Very good. I'll make sure that Sophia's in position when the time is right. Wait for my call.
So he's working against Paul. He's trying to stop him from creating the lifeboat and them working on the end of time. That does kind of make sense now. I need to get over there. How do I get over there?
It was some kind of surveillance drone. Knowing that
They're
Monarch
big
had
drones.
eyes in the sky made me a little uneasy.
I need to get through on the other side. Come back here. Oh, look at that. Found another one.
All right.
What's down here? Oh shit, as soon as I went that way, time started up again. I guess I want to go this way.
Okay, I gotta get to Dr. Ammon's office.
When Paul visited me in that cell, he said time was a closed loop. Believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. Seeing the scale of that facility made me wonder. Time was ending? What was it all for?
Dr. Ammon's office. It's like that's one level up.
This is how I get out of the piece.
Alright, that's it.
Alright, I think I got enough to upgrade now. I got 4. Dodge, time shield. I need 6 for cooldown reduction. And 6 for this. Okay.
The chart showed that Monarch's major technological advancements started in 2010. Around the same time that something else happened.
Ground Zero.
So, wait, I didn't finish with that. Phase 1, Monarch Operations, Monarch Physics Research Division founded, the Gull Island Facility Commission, Gull Island R&D Facility Commission, Phase 2. Wow, it doesn't let you read it. 2011, 12, 14, protocol retype. They make 6. Whoa. There's a lot of shit to look at up here. There's all the computers and everything you need to read. Okay.
What the fuck is happening?
Man, I see that guy run around. Hey, remember, I'm not the only one that can move around right now.
The device drained my powers.
We refer to it as a chronon dampener.
Look at all that. Do I really need to do this again? Do I need to grab this stuff? No, it doesn't look like it. Presentation. You need to grab
That was
this.
some kind of surveillance drone. Knowing that Monarch had eyes in the sky made me a little uneasy.
Are you sure this can't be traced back to us?
Impossible. I've adjusted the flight controls so the drone will crash into the villa on your order.
Very good. I'll make sure that Sophia's in position when the time is right. Wait for my call.
Ooh.
Okay, gotta get to Dr. Ammo.
When Paul visited me in that cell, he said time was a closed loop. Believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. Seeing the scale of that facility made me wonder. Time was ending? What was it all for? The chart showed that all of Monarch's major technological advancements started in 2010. Around the same time that something else happened.
Ground Zero.
Yeah, so it's not here. Let's go here. Let's go here. I got shot in the face. This is gonna be hard. Oh, you know what? I should host this. Let's do it. We don't need to see this again.
What the fuck is that thing?
Holy shit. That doesn't work here. God damn it. Can't really see him. I need to get behind him. Okay. There you go.
That was hardcore.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
These things were designed by walking tanks.
they weren't for you. Don't flatter yourself.
Which way is Amron's office?
It was clear that Monarch had been building the chronon technology for years. They were prepared for the fracture.
None of it would have been possible without the CFR.
Which was the countermeasure.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
Might be able to get out from here.
Oh, am I weighing it down? Alright. Don't fall off, you dipshit.
Guessing this isn't the usual employee route.
Okay. Aren't you guys gonna be surprised when you wake
Dr.
up?
Emerald's office must be close. No alarms. Looks like nobody here knows about the mess I made on the way in. Nice job, Beth.
What the hell is that? Do not use the radar tower entrance as a smoking area. Text wanted. Please return all used cuffs to the kitchen. Return your cuffs so nobody has to die. It's the Friday social. I can't go back. Okay. Let's read this one, Gala speech. Paulson has become preoccupied with the appearance of Jack Joyce. He has put aside his engagement at tonight's gala in order to focus on some feeble attempt to convert Jack to our cause. This distraction presents us with a perfect opportunity to push our agenda. Tonight we send Monarch into the state of chaos. Tonight we ensure Paul Serene's downfall. I have managed to convince Paul to allow me to deliver the gala speech on his behalf, creating the perfect cover. Did you really convince him? I'm pretty sure he said, hey, you fucking do this. I'm busy. Steps are as follows. Gala shooting. I will be delivering Paul's speech at the gala very soon. I have arranged for an inside source to fire shots in my direction from a vantage point halfway through the speech, narrowing missing me on stage. This will throw the gala into pandemonium and destabilize Monarch to a point where Paul's authority and control of the situation will be called into question. More immediately, it will force Monarch to initiate security measures that will lead to Sophia Emerald being locked into a nearby Monarch villa for her protection. Drone sabotage. Stenson will recalibrate Drone A7's flight pattern and cause it to crash directly into the villa, killing Sophia Amaral and therefore removing Paul Serene only means of developing the treatments necessary for his sickness. Treatment lab demolition. In the aftermath of Amaral's death, I will head an investigation that will allow me to gain access to Dr. Kim's lab where the entirety of Paul's treatments are kept. Demolition charges will be planted at every single treatment. Every single treatment will be destroyed with no further treatments forthcoming. Paul will be rendered helpless. With shutters happening more and more often, I predict that Paul's sickness will take hold within 6 hours of these events. Only then will we make our final move. So he's trying to stop Paul, who's trying to make a lifeboat so people can figure out how to stop the end of time. And man, if you're doing this plan, you're a fucking idiot. Why are you emailing all this shit on the company servers? You're gonna be found the fuck out. I can't get to that for some reason. Whoa. My TPS reports. I'm from Fairmont, Joyce is in custody to Beth Wilder. Our plans might have actually overlapped for once. I'm going to attempt to access Dr. Kim's lab tonight during the gala to find out if he knew anything about countermeasure. I still think that our strongest lead. However, if I get inside, I should be able to shut down some of the security measures from the inside. The problem is that getting inside that lab might prove to be a long shot. Couldn't get a hold of Emerald's key card, so I've resorted to shameless flirting in order to find the means in. I'm going to go to the gala as Charlie Wilcott's date in hopes that he can get me inside. That's if I can hold back from punching out the douche for that long. Consider this a test of my restraint. A test of restraint. I know that you think Jack is the key to obtaining the countermeasure, but the evidence is really stacking up that Dr. Kim knew something about the device. All the research he did in that lab is classified, and they're hiding something big there. I'll let you know what I find. But she found Dr. Kim. He turned into a shifter. I'd warn you that your plan on the island sounds reckless, but I'm sure you're fully aware. Keep in mind that the minute Dr. Emerald goes missing, the entirety of Monarch is going to be hunting you down. She's the only thing keeping Serene alive. He won't let her go without a fight. Keep safe. Oh, I should have read this other way. I just got word that Jack and Joyce is in Monarch custody, walked out and into the mansion on the Gull Island and gave himself up. What the hell are you two up to? If you want my help from the inside, then I need to know what's going on, Fiona. Yeah, oops. I'm sure you noticed that things didn't go exactly according to plan at Ground Zero. Seems like a running theme tonight. Can't go into detail now, but we found something that I believe is the key to retrieving the countermeasure. The solution is in sight, but we need to kidnap Sophia Almiral in order to get it to work. Jack gave himself up as part of a plan to get him inside. I'm on my way to release him so he can get to Almiral, a poor man's Trojan horse. Desperate times, desperate measures. What's your status? Any update on Dr. Kim's lead? Let's go to Almiral. Yeah, I already read this. Okay. We still don't know like how Fiona Miller enlisted her though. Okay. Computer in every office for me to read, huh? Shush. Alright, is this one email? Looks like it's one email. People, it appears we have overtaken by events, and we have had to adjust our plans accordingly. As you are no doubt aware, we now have Jack Joyce in custody. He gave himself up earlier today, as Mr. Serene has a personal interest, and Joyce has informed me he might have. He will be interrogating him at the dedication center on the island. Fortunately, this means that Mr. Serene cannot be there for the speech he was scheduled to give at the gala event tonight. So I will have to stand in for him. I have some new security requirements pertaining to that, but I will disclose those with specific individuals in person. Furthermore, be aware that the addition to Joyce, we also have Liam Burke held at the detention center. Despite his long service to Monarch, Burke is now to be considered hostile and has already done quite a bit of damage to us. I shouldn't have to say this, but just to be absolutely clear, any orders given by him should be ignored. Please ensure that Joyce is ready for Mr. Serene. Also, please bear in mind that Joyce is chronoactive and extremely dangerous. He has given himself up voluntarily, so it's entirely possible he doesn't intend to cause trouble, but let's make sure we're prepared if he does. We don't know his motivations, and I would not put it past him to use his surrender as a means to extract hidden agenda. Martin Hatch. Yeah, this is probably one of the few of those that was like the most just bullshit to read.
That's Emerald's office.
Is this her office? Alright, I'm gonna wait to go in there. Okay. The fuck? Oh, she's playing Alan Wake. Who's playing? Oh, she's playing it. She's playing Alan Wake. Okay, that's what that is. That's interesting. Alright, greetings. It has been brought to my attention that there is some confusion as to the reason for the upcoming event, evening gala on Gull Island. I understand that some feel that such a celebration is frivolous, even misguided. In the aftermath, gosh, she's still going on. In the aftermath of the last night's events at Riverport University and the now present steady advancing fracture in time, these concerns are understandable, but they are missing the bigger picture. Monarch Solutions is now entering a phase in which its true potential will be fulfilled. We have finally arrived at the moment for which we have spent years preparing. The purpose of this event is twofold. First of all, for the selected to be part of the Lifeboat Project as scientists, technicians, support personnel, or in some other role. God, she's still going. What's really weird is because Alan Wake, his name was on the chalkboard in the university as they're talking about him like as an author, but she's playing the Alan Wake video game, so that's kind of weird. Support personnel or in some other role, it will be important to see and hear Paul Serene continuous confidence in the survival program. It is vital for the continued survival of Monarch and ultimately the human race itself. This is particularly important given recent events. We need to present a desired and reassuring counterpoint to the sacrifices we've had to make. Naturally, not everybody at the party will be among the chosen few, so a certain degree of informational hygiene will be required. I trust you will ensure that those reporting to you are informed precisely of the degree necessary. Secondly, god damn, so much, dude. Secondly, for all is not functionally independent from the rest of society. In order for our plans to succeed, we will need the support and cooperation of authorities and numerous business partners, even though they do not know our true goals. A demonstration of power and confidence, as well as a clear message that Monarch has the will and the resource and the reach to fulfill our plans, will go a long way towards serving that support. This is particularly important given our recent hardline approach. We cannot weather the storm of public opinion without support from Riverport's higher echelon. And if they consider us weak or a liability, they may choose to probe deeper into our activities. This is precisely the kind of escalation we do not need at this crucial juncture. In conclusion, this is a tremendously important event that for the future of Monarch Solutions and for the future itself. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Hatch. So she's playing Alan Wake. It's downstairs. I haven't gotten downstairs yet, so I need to go through her shit first.
The Amaral had tried to warn Paul. The end of time was approaching quickly. Less than 24 hours away.
Mr. Serene believed it would take years to run its course. Admittedly, he was wrong.
Okay, so emails. They're a long thread. This is a part of the game where I started trying to read this stuff and I skipped originally. It has a lot of good detail, but this is a terrible way to deliver your story. Sophia, as promised in our latest session, I am now going to transcribe what I recall from my dreams. I still have doubts that the exercise will help alleviate my symptoms, but I'm willing to explore the idea further if you truly believe it in its merit. For someone who is not a medical doctor, let alone a mental health professional, you seem to take great interest in my thoughts, not that I don't appreciate it. Here's my first attempt. I recall a haunting image of 7 red doors. Each door had a wrought iron handle that was dripping liquid metal onto the ground, creating a pool in the middle of the room. I looked down into the aqueous metallic glow at my feet to see my own glimmering reflection, revealing that I had aged half a lifetime. Startled, I looked back up to discover that only one door remained. Jack Joyce stood in front of it. The heat in the room was overwhelming. Jack was sweating profusely, his skin red and peeling open. He begged me to take him back home, but there was no door leading home. I opened the only door left and entered, discovering that we were back in the same room we had just exited. He refused to come to terms with this and opened the door again. I followed him over and over as he desperately opened the doors, forever leading us back to where we started. The heat grew, and he howled in pain, begging to know why I made the other doors disappear, why there was only one path. He begged me to bring the other doors back. He begged me to take him home. The iron pool burst into flames. Jack screamed in agony. I grabbed him, told him that we needed to learn to endure the heat, to embrace the flame. I knew it would come to pass eventually, but the only way to survive it was to accept its inevitability. My body began swaying rapidly, dancing to the movement of the flames around me until my bones faded out of existence and I surrendered to the fire until we were one and the same. I was no longer being in one place at a time. My life force spread evenly across the flames until I was no longer an individual in one body, but a grander shifting entity. I could feel Jack being consumed within my essence. I felt the power within the heat and clarity of intent. I forgot about my desire to ever return from the flame, because the body that once desired to return was lost forever. I became the very thing that I entered, and I became me, a cynical fury chasing itself. Ouroboros. Yeah, Ouroboros. I wake up in a cold sweat. I quickly write down the words that poisoned my mind in the moment. Delmore Schwartz was right. Time is the fire. It's the image of the 7 doors melting down to one is interesting. It's kind of like saying you have multiple paths to take in life, but because he invented time travel and looked to the future, he eliminated all other options because he believes the future that happens cannot be changed. So his perception of that means he left only one path to go. So he eliminated all the other paths. With Jack Joyce in our custody, I thought it relevant to forward you a message you sent me years ago. Do not underestimate the significance he holds in your life. Understand your concern that he is reluctant to accept the inevitability of what is coming. However, when he sees the whole picture, he'll have no choice but to believe. We all had our doubts once. You showed us the light. Give him time. That's the other thing, man. People in this company suck at keeping their computers and shit in line. Project Fracture Progression. God damn. We looked at the preliminary data on the frequency and severity of the shutters and crunched the numbers, and results are alarming. Our original projection, which gave us years until the fracture reached the point where time breaks down completely, does not match up with the progression of the shutters that we are experiencing. But simply, the stutters are happening more and more frequently, clearly indicating that the Marjoy's field is breaking down much faster than we thought. Taking to the rate of acceleration, we can hypothesize that we might have as little as 24 hours until we reach the end of time, or a point at which time stops and no longer starts up again. We do not know why the original projection was wrong, and why the data, which we do consider reliable, coming as it does from Mr. Serene, seems to be entirely contradict our current findings. Regardless, the main issue seems clear. In order to achieve Mark Solutions' stated goal, the Lifeboat Protocol should be activated ASAP.
That there looks like what Beth wanted. Oh, shit. Emerald's at the party. The stutter won't last. I better find a way out of here and get to the party.
Alright. Chrono Disruptors Wave Function, aka Shifters. Slide 1. God, this is long too. Much of what we know about the shifters is theoretical, based on observations made of Mr. Serene and the limited experimentation we have been able to conduct on the only subject we have managed to capture. They do not seem to have stable physical presence. Rather, the data we are gathering appears to be fragmented and contradictory. as if they were countless versions of the subject occupying space. Our current theory is that they somehow exist in a persistent state of quantum superposition, or to put it another way, with reference to the famous Schrodinger's cat thought experiment, the cat is both alive and dead at the same time. The full mechanics of and implications of this exceed our current understanding, but on a practical level, it seems to make him highly resistant to injury. It appears that even if the shifter encountered deadly force, it may kill one of its aspects, but because it exists as multiple iterations of itself, including iterations that were not killed by the force, it doesn't stop. Current theory suggests that the only way to stop a shifter is to cause its wave function to collapse from the superposition to a single benign state. I think it's supposed to be benign. Single benign state. In practical terms, the shifter must be affected with deadly force enough times for it to run out of healthy versions of itself. And such, the direct confrontation with a shifter should be a last resort. Slide 2. Contact with the shifter is extremely dangerous. We know that they are essentially mobile repositories of vast amounts of chronon particles, and that they can only exist in zero state, an area which has been depleted of chronon particles. Typically, by a fault in the Meyer-Joyce field that encompasses the universe, colloquially, we refer to these as stutters in time. Colloquially. We also know that shifters are hostile to any source of chronon particles other than themselves within stutters. So, any chronon-active individual within a stutter may find themselves targeted by a shifter. It appears that movement in stutters, by which we mean the very movement of particles within the space in which time flows, not merely the movement of an individual, disrupts them, and they respond with considerable aggression. As discussed previously, shifters are extremely resistant to damage. They are also quite physically formidable, but their biggest threat is the distortion field around them. The exact nature is unknown, but we know it warps the properties of space surrounding them, exerting great physical stress and unpredictable forces in the surroundings. Again, in practical terms, close proximity to a shifter may be fatal, even if no actual physical contact takes place. Slide 3. The stutter-proofing technology Monarch Solutions has advanced offers solid protection against shifters. Time flows normally within stutter-proofed areas, so shifters simply cannot exist within them. Therefore, as long as the stutter-proofing remains active, shifters are not a problem. However, stutter-proofing of large outside areas is not feasible given our chronon particle budget, so we have developed our other technology to defend against shifters, the chronon dampeners. Chronon dampeners work by annihilating free-floating chronon particles within a specific area. As shifters forms are hypersaturated with chronon particles, they cannot enter an area in which a chronon dampener is active without their wave function collapsing. Therefore, our operatives in the field have a solid portable defense against shifters. Once our own technology is shielded against the dampener's effect, so activities in stutter undertaken by the strikers and other operatives are not hindered. However, as an unfortunate side effect, the dampeners have a crippling effect on individuals who are chronon active without the aid of technology. Accordingly, should Mr. Serene be present, you should always make him aware of your intentions before activating a dampener. You may rest assured that the dampener is not powerful enough to do actual physical harm to Mr. Serene, whose system constantly produces new chronon particles to replace the ones that are lost, but as the dampener's effects are unpleasant and enervating, such encounters is likely to lead to an awkward conversation about future career prospects. This is too much fucking information to put your story into reading, man. God. Have an NPC tell us this shit. Again, another long fucking briefing. God. Alright. CFR briefing. It's no exaggeration to say that the Chronon Field Regulator, or the CFR, is the heart of all the Monarch Technologies advances. It has taken on a somewhat mythical quality given its origins and the vital role it plays in the Lifeboat project, but in actuality, the CFR's applications are very practical. That's not to say that the CFR hasn't had a course of altering impact to the work Monarch Solutions does. It's been hugely influential in the development of both shutterproofing technology that allows us to shield large areas from the effects of zero state, enabling time to keep flowing within them even as it stops everywhere else, as well as the similar potential personalized application of the same technology, the portable chronon harness that allows our soldiers and technicians to operate freely within stutters. We think of Dr. Henry Kim as the father of this technology, and deservedly so, but for all his brilliance, it was his dedication to uncovering the secrets of the CFR that allowed him to make his breakthroughs. Despite Dr. Kim's hard work, the CFR's functionality is still not fully understood, and we have not been able to replicate the device. However, more than one of them would obviously be greatly advantageous to us, but we find ourselves in a precarious position where, in order to fully investigate it, we would have to take it apart. Given its immense power, such an undertaking would pose obvious risks. Perhaps even more importantly, there is no guarantee that we wouldn't be able to put it back together again. Given that it's vital to the implementation of the Lifeboat Protocol, is our policy to leave it intact. We do know, however, that the CFR can not only store an amount of chronon particles, it can also tap into the Meyer-Joyce field and with a great precision manipulate it. It's the unique ability that our own chronon technology replicates, albeit at a far less control and efficiency. It's also what makes the Lifeboat Protocol a reality. By itself, our stutter-proof technology is powerful and reliable, but its rate of chronon particle consumption is high, and it increases at an alarming rate as we widen the volume of space the shutterproofing covers. This would, on the face of it, make the shutterproofing a very temporary solution indeed, one that could perhaps buy us some subjective weeks once we enter a permanent zero state, but which would ultimately only delay the inevitable. However, the CFR changes all that when the permanent shutterproofing installed on the lifeboat, indeed the very shutterproofing that makes the lifeboat in the first place, is directed by the CFR. The system becomes vastly more efficient. Our chronon particle consumption is reduced to around 1% of what it otherwise would be, given that chronon particles are hard to source even in the ground zero installation, and our stockpiles are decidedly limited. This means that the CFR makes the difference between lifeboat being temporary stopgap solution or a very long-term undertaking that hopefully allows us to eventually find a solution to the end of time. God, that's so fucking annoying. God, man, that's a lot of exposition that just happens all in this one room. I really wish they would have figured out how not to fuck that up. Or figure out how to tell us this information without what they did. It's really fucking annoying.
Quite expensive piece of tech you stole.
Bill me. I knew Beth's cover wouldn't last long. Had to get it to her at the party before it was too late.
Oh my god, so much more. This whole episode's just been nothing but reading. Alright. It's all one email, thank god. Okay, hello, I've just been informed that the time machine core we obtained from the university has reached Monarch HQ safely and is currently being installed into the new time machine corridor system we have constructed here. As you know, the core of the time machine is the time machine. Yeah, no shit. The core around it is merely a user interface. This means, of course, that once the installation is complete, we have effectively moved the time machine from the university to the Monarch HQ. That said, we don't intend to use it. Let's repeat that. There are no current plans to use the time machine. We are not sure how safe it would be to use it given... Get down. That's what I was afraid of, Cat. You're gonna knock over my phone. Alright. Okay. There's no current plans to use the time machine. We are not sure how safe it would be to use given that the initial activation has caused the fracture. I personally believe that now that the core has been activated, further use would be safe. But makes no mistake, this is a hypothesis, not a proven fact. We know that the machine taps into the universal Meyer-Joyce field, and somehow that connection has caused the fracture in the field, apparently because of a misconfiguration. We are looking into the specifics, but until we know for sure, it would be irresponsible for us to use the machine. However, having it in place gives us a degree of control. It allows us in an emergency to travel backwards, although we obviously can't go no further than the time of its activation last night, or forwards as might be required. Obviously, this being fully secured at our building restricted area on the top floor also means that nobody else can use the machine. I have reiterated that the only person who may authorize the use of the time machine is Paul Serene. I do not have that authority. Martin Hatch does not have that authority. The only person who does is Mr. Serene. He takes this issue very seriously, and I strongly suggest that you do the same. Oh, Charlie. Okay. Fiona Miller, from Charlie. So I had a dream about you last night. It wasn't anything bad, don't worry, but it was pretty fucking weird. Let's just say that if you have a second mouth hidden under your arm that keeps on insisting that the international stock market is being controlled by Pittsburgh Steelers, this would be a real good time to tell me. I mean, I don't usually have premonitions or anything. I don't believe in that crap, but just the same, I hate for that one to turn out to be true. Oh, and also that mouth eats nothing but sausages, real chompy style. So you know there's probably nothing fruity happening there. Just wanted you to know, what are you up to, Charlie? Wow. Jesus Christ, Charlie, I can't tell that you're a man of great sophistication. Did you major in smooth talk, or what the fuck are you sending me, Courtney? You got a text of a gobbledygook mess. Just smooth talk, or actually, hey, speaking of education, I heard rumors about that op coming up at the university. I know you know, because you always know about that sort of stuff. It sounds pretty serious. What the hell is all that about, Fiona? As far as the university goes, I can't really talk about that. I mean, yeah, obviously I know I'm like the first person they talk to about something like that, but it's classified. I'm sure as hell wouldn't put that down in an email, so maybe you should just come down and talk to me, you know, if I was free to talk about it, which I'm obviously not. Bring food. Seriously, I can't talk about it. I don't even want to know how you know about it, but you should still bring me food. No sausages. Does that make this weird? God. That's all the narrative pieces here. Fuck. Check out Burke's contact. Who's he working with? Why is that in his mug? Okay, so where'd I go now? Let me get in there. I read this one, right? I'll say, like, this is probably the worst way they've chosen to go about anything, is because all the story exposition is right here. It's all in one spot, and we just spent 20 minutes just reading shit. That's how annoying this shit has been.
Guns made to operate in a stutter. Paul had clear priorities. When time ends, guns don't.
Okay.
The Monarch combat gear was unwieldy. What I'd taken from Dr. Amaral's office was much lighter. Almost like a civilian model.
Go through here. Okay. There's a hell of a lot more reading to do. So, we're going to save it here. Actually, let me move forward enough to get through this other shit. See what this stuff is. A lifeboat located Monarch HQ. Access sealed and still activated. Completely starter-proof. Maintained with proton particles sourced from the ground zero particle flow. Directed by the CFR. Twofold purpose. Guarantee survival of human race. Find a way to restart time. Limited capacity. Personnel chosen based on vital skills. Complete discretion required. Change of plans. Mr. H will give the lifeboat activation prep speech instead of Mr. S. S will interrogate Joyce. Okay. Okay. Paul, time machine core has successfully been transported to HQ and installed in the Monarch time machine frame at the top of the building of the tower. The crew is getting restless. They really need some insight into the next steps. I understand the details of your plan remain confidential for a reason, but any information you can give us would be extremely helpful, Kara. Kara, thanks for the update. We do not require the time machine to be activated in the near future, but from this point forward, I want technicians to stand by. Our plan requires absolute control. This is what the machine represents. More than anything, we want to protect the machine from falling into the hands of our enemies. We have to deny them the opportunity to disrupt our plans. We may not be able to change the past, but if my travels have proven anything, is that the past can help us better prepare for the steps to come. Those steps will be made clear to you very soon. Paul Serene.
Oh, dude. Come on, you're at work.
Adventurous religious singles, pure thrills for the pure heart. Find your soulmate, meet the one he meant for you. Staying together, enjoy tension. Okay. So we read all that. This is Act 3. We're saving it. Thank you for watching. We'll come back next time. Hopefully not have so much to fucking read. Alright. And you can also find this and all other playthroughs on our YouTube channel. I'll be uploading that all next week. Probably starting Monday. So come check us out. So it should be Monday, 8 a.m. The first video will go live, then one a day from moving on as we go through this game. Shouldn't have too much more to go through. Well, actually, we do have like 2 more TV episodes, so it's about a few more hours of gameplay. Hopefully not too much more reading to do, because this fucking reading is killing me. Alright. Thank you for watching. Find us on our YouTube, Girlfriend vs. Boyfriend Gaming. That's where we're at. Check it out. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me at DarkwingDuckIRZ, and then follow GF vs. BF on Twitter as well. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you later. Have a good day. Goodbye.